video, we're going to talk about incremental ROAS and how it is the ultra important thing to pay attention to, or that pertains to your campaigns that you're running through your Google Ads account for maximum profits. So in short, incremental ROAS is basically simply saying, if you have 3 campaigns that you're running in your Google Ads account, if one campaign plays a role in your overall results on Google Ads, that's going to provide an incremental role and has an incremental part of your overall ROI or ROAS of your entire investment on Google Ads. That part in and itself may be where you're just talking about remarketing. I talk about remarketing all the time on this channel, about how it will double basically every time the return on your entire account ad spend if you have remarketing as a part of your overall strategy. It just doesn't provide an ROI that you can easily see, because most of the time when someone sees a banner ad or a video, they don't just click through that ad and buy right away. But it increases the closing rate on the leads that you get quite a bit, or just traffic you are getting in front of, or people in market that you want to get in front of and sell to, because of the power of sevens in marketing says that it takes multiple touches with your audience in order to get them confident enough to do business with you. So that remarketing piece, when you go at the end of the day to look at, this year, here's what our sales were, here's what our ad spend was, remarketing of the 5 million we've got, if we didn't do 5 million in marketing or sales, we would have got 3.5. That 1.5 is your incremental revenue and ROI and ROAS, if you will, generated from your overall ad budget there, or made up that part of your sales. And as it pertains to an ROI number, it provided XYZ% of your total ROI from your investment. I'm going to go into a bit more detail how this is actually calculated. But with that said, the moral of the story here, as I'm going to talk about here today, is you need to be thinking about marketing online is more so like a process. If you are going to be able to scale to millions of dollars online, you got to be able to think about how to get the low-hanging fruit in your space first, yes. But when you start going after people that are not quite a grand slam prospect to get in front of, so you can scale, you're going to have to think about the customer journey. And ultimately, there's certain things you got to do to get somebody who's not quite there yet to actually cross threshold of becoming, and so where somebody is a good prospect to be dealing with, or to get in front of, that could buy and would buy if you actually didn't just try to ask them once and buy and that's it. Now that's where incremental ROAS, as you're measuring the total ROAS of your investment, of what you're spending through your Google Ads account, certain parts of what you do is going to contribute to the overall ROAS that you're getting. And you need to think about what you're doing as like a total package. You're going to market to people several times that because they saw all 3 ads, if you will, from you, they were going to buy. But if they saw 1, they weren't going to buy. If they saw 2, they weren't going to buy. With all that said, getting into the content here, if someone is interested in buying from someone in your market, he who makes the strongest case to buy, or that has the most compelling reason why they should buy from them, is going to get the sale. Because ultimately, everybody likes running Google search ads because they understand it and it's not that hard to monetize. You got somebody already saying, yes, I'm ready to buy something, and you get in front of them and you got to make a case to get them to buy from you. And for the most part, you don't have to be a super genius marketer to monetize that type of ad space. And that's really kind of a misnomer, because when everybody in your space that's lazy and not that educated as a marketer, it's actually not so easy anymore, because it's super crowded and therefore the cost per click has went up, and it's also not easy to do. But in terms of mechanics, it's fairly easy as compared to like running display advertising, where you got a lot of times make a really good video ad, sells well, and then you got to have multiple touches with the user after that, because anybody who is not ready to buy, you generally have to turn that into a process. It baffles me is, let's say you sell red shoes, there's 5,000 people a month searching for red shoes on Google. Before you go ahead and you market to people who might want to buy red shoes on YouTube, you need to figure out how to get all the people who are already raising their hands and saying that they're interested in red shoes already, and get as much out of that as you can, because that is the low-hanging fruit in your space. And it's easier to get a bit more out of that crowd of people than it is to start interrupting people. It truly is. So with that said, once you've ran your ad, assuming you sell red shoes, you've gotten your ad in front of people searching for red shoes on Google. You covered that on Google for yourself. You're getting whatever you're getting. You want to get more out of it, well then you got 3 made routes to go then, to squeeze not some of the sales out of that ready to buy traffic, but all of the sales you can. First of which is the better landing page to take them to, or the better website. Many many people underestimate how much people judge a book by its cover. If a website doesn't look very trustworthy, a lot of money was spent on it, they're not going to trust your offer. Why should I give you my money when you don't even want to invest in your own business and make the website look halfway decent? That's what people are going through, even though they're not directly thinking that. That's ultimately what happens. Just like that saying, people judge a book by its cover. That book might be amazing, but if the cover looks like shit, they're going to think the book is shit. The website is just like that. So you can go ahead and invest more in a website, and generally speaking, 90% of you guys watching this could go and find an even better web design firm and not kick it up a notch and get a better conversion rate. You can always usually take it a bit further. Now the question is, you start getting a drop off in benefit of it the further up the hierarchy or scale you go. What generally happens is you should take it most of the way and then say, okay, let's move on to the next thing in line to get more out of this group of people who are already saying they want to buy on Google. And that is, you create a better offer. When I say offer, that means offering a warranty, double your money back guarantee, reducing the price, offering free 2-day shipping, buy one, get one free, figuring out how to reframe what it is that you're offering so that it seems more appealing. Or doing stuff like, if it's not the lowest price and you can find a lower price after you buy, we'll give you a $50 gift card to Outback Steakhouse. We've done stuff like that many times. There's many different ways there. You could take something that isn't necessarily better in and itself, reframe it, and it seems significantly better. And that could be one way to get more out of the people that are already ready to buy on Google already from you. Final kind of way is you can have better follow-up, and that's where the remarketing comes in, specifically through email, through running banner ad remarketing, video remarketing. This affects the conversion rate on the closing rate on the people that are already in market that you get. So just like the better website gets more people of the people that are already in market to buy from you, so does the offer, so does the follow-up that you do. You can literally get twice as many people to buy from you that are already in market there for what you sell, just by having a really good follow-up system with ads. People do email remarketing where they try to email people that like abandon the cart, but then they don't think about ads because email's free. If it works, why even bother doing it? Free, what good is free if it doesn't provide any value? Oh, email remarketing for cart abandonment people does work. It does bring in sales. Well, why don't you run ads for the same thing then? If one works, the other's got to work. Well, that costs money. Does it get a return on investment or does it not? For every single campaign I run, I'm going to run remarketing unless it's something like a broken toilet where you either have to buy it now or never. And we'll have a whole string of remarketing ads that go over again with the user all the reasons why they should buy. We have a better product, it's better quality, it's made in the USA, it has a better warranty. Here's a before and after photo showing that how much it's going to benefit you. We offer free 2-day shipping. Here's a testimonial showing a customer liked it. Here's another testimonial. Here's the reviews that it's got on Google Ads. Here's an influencer who's reviewed it that you probably know, like, and trust already. Here's an award that it got. Here's a review on an industry review site that it got. Here's a durability test where somebody just tested the durability of the product versus other products in the market. All of this stuff contributes to whether or not people are going to buy from you or not. And that's why it doubles the amount of people that are already ready to buy who will buy from you. Just put yourself in the user's shoes. If you sold all that and the other people in the market that you're considering has none of it, who are you going to buy from? Especially considering when somebody visits your website for the first time, even though they say, I'm ready to buy red shoes, they're not going to buy on the first visit. So trickling out all this other content for them over the next 30, 60, 90 days is absolute gold in picking up more of that share of those customers than anybody else in your market. But most people that you're competing with aren't going to do it because they want to see somebody see an ad, click through it, buy right away, or it doesn't work. Because that's how their other Google ads work on Google. So therefore, all ads should work that way, or otherwise I'm not doing it. The reality is, most of the time somebody sees a banner ad saying, here's what the customer that used it and what their living room looked like before, and here's what it looked like after. Someone sees that ad, they're not thinking, oh, golly gee, I'm going to whip my freaking wallet out right now and I'm going to buy it right now. That's not how consumers behave. And that's not how remarketing, the benefit of it and how it works. They see it, they internalize it. On Friday when they get paid and they're ready to buy something and they're not busy reading some article they were reading, they remember you first and then you get the sale at a higher rate of time than the competitor does because they saw that ad previously. And it's not just one ad that gets them to really tip over the edge at a higher rate. It's the 12 ads that rotate out for the user that has all these other compelling reasons why we're better, why we're the best, why we're well reviewed. Incrementally, each ad increases your ROAS of your total investment into ads to get in front of those people and get them to buy the more that they see. And so it provides more sales, obviously from that crowd of people that are already in market than you could have got otherwise. But more than that, it also just gets more out of Google Ads that you can get in terms of profit than you can get from the people already ready to buy from somebody in your market is going to get you. To have a banner ad with a customer testimonial on it, that costs a fraction of a penny to have shown to somebody who you know is going to buy from either you or somebody in your market. When you spend $1 or $10 or whatever to get them to your site and you don't spend a third of a penny to have a banner ad in front of somebody that says why you're the best, you're not going to get the same level of profit you can get just marketing to somebody once that says they're in market and then giving up on them instantly after. It especially applies then. If somebody contacts you already and asks a question, that's the time you should especially follow up with all these other ads. Each ad that they see is going to incrementally increase the likelihood that they're going to buy from you. So anyway, with all this said, we had, just to give you one of many examples where we'll set up remarketing for a client at our firm and then they'll later on say, does this remarketing even really work? Oh, we'll shut off the remarketing ads because the remarketing ads doesn't say they have a 500% ROAS, like their search ads do, and it never ever will. They want us to shut it off and prove to them it doesn't work. As aggravating as it is, sometimes we just have to do that. And we did it for a specialized painting company. And for that painting company, people that say they're in market for paint, we're attacking them the best we can on Google search and Microsoft/Bing. Then we remarket the hell out of them after. We have ads that say how good our quality of our paint is. We have ads that show the before and after. Here's what your wall is going to look like basically before and after that you apply our paint. We have ads every single month that has a monthly sale on it. St. Patrick's Day sale, summer sale. To build urgency and get people to stop procrastinating their purchase so much. We know they're going to buy from somebody. If we can pull forward the demand by giving them a little bit of a discount, we're going to get way more people to buy. And that's something you should be using on your campaign every time as well. And then we have also remarketing ads that have just plain old cart abandonment ads. Going back to that. Use the code CART10 in your shopping cart for 10% off of your cart purchase that you have abandoned. Within the next 24 hours, you'll get the 10% off. Otherwise, after 24 hours, you ain't getting it. And you have that going. And all these ads work together in unison to get that person from not quite sure who to deal with to for sure now knowing if I'm going to buy, it's going to be from this guy right here. So what we had before turning off these ads is a blended ROAS of 455%. When I say blended ROAS, I mean taking total sales divided by total ad spend on Google anyway, or Google plus Microsoft, I should say, which, by the way, you should be doing as well because the tracking inside your account is not that accurate. It doesn't pick up every sale. The tracking you can do inside your Google Ads account is good enough to see if this ad works versus this ad, to see, to do split testing and so forth. But to know what your true return on investment is, you got to look at your effect on total sales that your ads have. And people don't like to do that because they could say, well, this thing over here could have gotten the sales. But reality is, you got to be able to expect your ads on your total sales to go up and then raise your ad spend on Google again, wait for your sales to go up again, and do that over and over again to walk up your sales. Because if the typical tracking on Google Ads is going to undercount what it really delivers for you in terms of sales by half, or only show half of the real sales. Because you got, your PPC, because of cookies, not every person's picked up. People switch devices before they buy. Like I said before, it usually takes more than one visit to the site before they're ready to buy. They're at work, then they end up, when they initially search at home, they're at home when they buy. You got the PPC's effect on your organic rankings, which gets you a lot of side benefit from running ads. You got referrals, you got repeat purchases, you got all this other stuff that contributes to your overall return from what you're doing that doesn't show up in that ROAS number in your account. So because of us, this particular owner that I'm working with is smart enough to realize that we look at how the sales is affected by ad spend, and we're going to come to an agreement that if we can get a 4.5 to 1 return, we're going to scale the ad spend as high as we can go because that's doable for the company, which is what you should ultimately set up for yourself if you want to make millions of dollars scaling up ads for your company. We were asked to shut off the remarketing because the remarketing doesn't say we get a good return. It says we get like a 1.5 ROAS or 150% ROAS across the board. Okay? What this did was, though, when we shut it off for 30 days, and we look at what happened over the next 30 days, our blended ROAS, total sales divided by total ad spend, went down to 316%, way below what the client obviously needs. In this situation here, so we obviously knew to turn the remarketing back on, but the incremental ROAS that the remarketing provides is 139%, okay? So the remarketing provides part of your ROAS that you're getting that you wouldn't necessarily knew you got unless you shut off the remarketing completely and just see how much that affects your ROAS that you have. And that's very typical what's going to happen when you do that. And if you don't believe me, if you wanted to really test this for yourself, you could run remarketing to just half the country or half of your city and just see how the sales over the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months are affected with the kind of sequence I'm talking about, not just beating people over the head with a message to buy over and over again, because that doesn't barely work or not enough to really, really notice it. But a really, really, really good sequence like I talked about where you're actually, like with the customer before and after, they see that ad. If they click on it, you take them to 30 before and after photos so they can just gorge on that content. So a lot of people aren't going to click through that ad, like I said, but for the few that do, take advantage of it. Don't just send them to your damn homepage and be like, oh, that's good enough. Because that's just stupid and short-sighted. You know, you wouldn't want it as a user, so why are you making your customer do that? Treat the customer like you would want to be treated. Customer will buy from you and treat you how you want to be treated. Anyway, so with that said, you could go ahead and do, which by the way, what I just described is called conversion lift testing. So instead of relying on the conversion tracking and what the ROAS says in your account for your ROAS, or what the ROAS that you are getting, you use half of your country. You could run ads that you want to test to half your country, half the country, half of the country not run that ad, and see how this overall sales in your company's in that half of the country to see its incremental effect on your total sales that you're getting that way. And it's a much better way to see if that ad works, because the tracking inside Google Ads, as I mentioned, it's flawed as a whole. It's good enough, like I said, to have data to optimize your ads with and see if, like, okay, this keyword versus this keyword, is good versus not good. Or at least if we're going to try to walk our sales up one more notch, we're going to try to spend more on this keyword versus this keyword. But to see if an ad campaign as a whole works or not and delivers an actual ROI that you're looking for, you look at that on an incremental basis on how that incrementally affects your total sales, and is a much smarter way to go, and ultimately the best way to scale your ads up to millions of dollars for yourself and be able to justify doing that all the way and walking it up to that. So anyway, incremental ROAS, that's what basically we were talking about in terms of incremental ROAS, and I talk about it the most when we're talking about remarketing. Another place, though, the incremental ROAS will come up is when you're doing branding. If you're in a local market, let's say you have a drug rehab, we had a client doing this, do billboard advertising across the city, okay? Billboard advertising gets a lot more searches on Google going, and we get a lot more from our search campaign, but that wouldn't necessarily be there if we didn't do the billboard advertising, both from brand searches, but not just that. Once somebody's seen your billboard ad, they have brand recognition, so that when there's 4 ads to decide to click on, when you search in drug rehab Denver, you're 2 to 3 times more likely to click on that ad that promotes a brand that you've heard and seen of before. Those are real numbers. So you could say billboard advertising doesn't work because people don't see the billboard ad and they don't, call the number on the ad right away. Or you could be smart about it and do that and then see how your total sales are affected at your company over the next 12 months or year over year, given that things can be highly seasonal in your business. So you can compare what June is this year to the previous June once all the billboards are up. And with branding like that, it's usually not so instantaneous. It's going to be, you throw up the billboards all over the city, you wait 12 months, and when your contract is up, see how that incrementally affected your sales. Why? Because people need to see it a few times to even remember it enough so that when they go search on Google, they're going to actually remember your brand name in that situation. The other situation is like, and I'm going to make a video about this pretty soon, but once you picked all the low-hanging fruit in your niche market where people are already looking for what you sell, they're going to buy from somebody, you're only going to get so far with that. If you're super hungry and you want to really become wealthy in your niche market and just dominate, you got to be able to get in with people before they make that search for drug rehab Dallas. You need to start advertising for when people are looking for information on YouTube about, should I go to drug rehab? How to know which drug rehabs to pick from? Or they're reading articles on that. And then just be in all those places as well. And because most people aren't going to click through your ad right then and there, but because they saw your branding there, and therefore they're going to be more likely to choose you. If it's hard to track the ROI of that, unless you're doing it in an incremental way, like I talked about here, to justify doing it for yourself. Because if you're going to just expect somebody to just be searching for, how to choose a drug rehab, and then we have an ad that for a drug rehab saying come into our drug rehab and expect people to click through and buy that right away, you're just fooling yourself. Naturally, sometimes they will, but not enough to just be able to see the ROI match the ROI you're getting from somebody that's already ready to buy from us and just typing in drug rehab Denver. It's not going to be the same. Doesn't mean that the ROI isn't there. In fact, it will be, because big reason being, it's $30 a click to get somebody who's already in market, because everybody's going for that easy sale there. Whereas nobody's advertising to the person when they're about ready to buy, and the cost per click there is going to be $3 a click. And you're going to get in front of basically everybody who's about ready to buy in your market, because in that market, almost everybody's going to do some research before they come in. They're not just going to willy-nilly be like, okay, I'm going to go into a drug rehab today. Drug rehabs, Denver. Oh, yep, I'd like to come in. Obviously the more you spend on something, the more research you're going to do. And so this can affect you more, where more research and consideration is done before someone buys. That is the case. But there's very few markets where they're not going to do any research at all. Basically anything where you sell something for over $100, they're going to do some level of research before they buy. You getting in front of everybody before they're going to buy, and just knowing statistically where people look before they buy, and get in front of get in all those areas so they can be cognizant of you, so you seem like a brand, it's going to basically pay for itself every time. But not if you just look at the ROAS of that campaign you're running and expect it to be sky high. You got to be able to see it this way. So if you have any questions about that, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours time. If you haven't subscribed to this channel as well, by the way, you absolutely should if you haven't yet, because the information I'm sharing with you on this channel is coming from somebody who spends 40 hours a week, literally speaking, doing ad testing and strategy for dozens of different ad accounts that I'm personally doing strategy on, to give you what I personally see, what works and doesn't work on Google, Facebook, and all the other ad platforms out there, which is unique because 99% of the information you're going to find from other people selling courses and whatnot, they ain't running no ad strategy, or it's very limited, and they're talking and pulling the information they're giving you out of there. Basically, they're behind. You got to get the information straight from the source if you're going to be able to know what truly works, and therefore, if you're going to subscribe to anything, you might as well subscribe to this too as well. It doesn't get better than this. If there is better information, I want to know about it, because I personally don't know of any other better information than what we're sharing on this channel. You can also, by the way, I have a blog on my site at guaranteedppc.com/blog, where you can find actual strategies we use to guarantee results for clients at our firm, with screenshots, with the actual step-by-step advice to follow them. If you like the channel, you're going to like the blog as well, so you should check that out as well at guaranteedppc.com/blog. As a side, if you're looking for now or in the future the best ad agency you can personally find that really knows how to get your results and will actually stand behind their work with a guarantee, that's exactly what we do at our agency here. We offer our clients so much sales results on their campaigns up front on the same ad spend that they're already spending, or on a starting amount of ad spend before we take our fee, or start to take our fee, I should say. With the catch being, we got to know we can get good results on your stuff before we agree to take you on as a client. But if you want to see if we can work together, reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. I'd be happy to give you a free assessment and analysis on what you have going and see if we might be able to work together. If you aren't looking, you don't like working with ad agencies, a lot of people don't, no matter how good they are, they want to manage their own ads. But if we worked in your niche market before, you do yourself a huge favor still taking the winning ads, landing pages, campaign templates we've already developed for your niche market, because we probably already did all the hard work and investigation to figure out what works the best in your market already. And of that, you can just copy paste into your account. So literally speaking with that, you could take everything we've already developed for your niche market, everything we've already developed for your niche market already, of which, by the way, we can tell you the cost per lead or ROI that we were already getting with it before you ever used it, and copy paste that into your account and not have to go through all the hell that we had to go through to figure out how to get those results for our own self, and usually over a year plus time to figure out how to get those results. So if you're interested in that, or at the very least, you should see if we worked in your niche market before and what results we got, because it could be highly, highly beneficial to you to just use our templates. We've worked in over 100 niche markets in the last 10 years of running this firm, so the chances are high we've already got the results you're looking for. And we got people using these templates to start other businesses. It's like having a business on training wheels using an ad template to sell a known product or service profitably, and you just got to put the business together around the campaign, because running the campaign profitably is usually the hardest part. We got people using the templates to just sell leads, marking up leads, selling the leads, and we got people doing e-commerce that had no clue about e-commerce, but they were able to enter e-commerce because the hard part of figuring out how to run an ad campaign successfully was already figured out for them up front before they got started. If you're interested in any of those other opportunities, you can also reach out to me at my firm at guaranteedppc.com, and I can have a conversation with you about it. But with that said, I'll wrap everything up with that. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.